They don't announce it. They don't post about it. And yet, if you pay close attention, the happiest, most respected seniors quietly live by a different set of rules. Rules they rarely explain, even to their own families. It's not because they're hiding something selfish. It's because these truths are hard-earned, deeply personal, and surprisingly powerful. What if the difference between a stressful life and a peaceful one came down to just a few things you choose to keep private? Stay with me, because by the end of this, you may start seeing your own life very differently. Before we begin, if you value wisdom that actually changes how you think and live, take a second to support the channel. There's something fascinating about people who have lived long, full lives, not just the years, but the clarity. They've seen friendships rise and fall, money come and go, health fluctuate, and priorities shift. And somewhere along the way, they realize something most people never do. Not everything needs to be shared. The first thing they keep private is their personal struggles. Not because they're pretending life is perfect, but because they understand something subtle. When you constantly talk about your problems, you give them more power than they deserve. Smart seniors process pain differently. They reflect, they adapt, and they move forward without making every hardship a public story. They know that dignity grows in silence, and strength is often built in moments no one else sees. Then there's their financial situation. You'll rarely hear a truly wise older person openly discussing how much they have or don't have. They've learned that money attracts opinions, expectations, and sometimes even resentment. Privacy becomes protection. It allows them to live freely without being judged, compared, or taken advantage of. They understand that peace is more valuable than proving anything to anyone. Another secret they guard carefully is their future plans. It might sound surprising, but they don't rush to announce what they're about to do next. Why? Because they've experienced how quickly outside opinions can distort a simple intention. When you share too early, you invite doubt, criticism, or even subtle discouragement. Smart seniors move quietly. They let their actions speak after the results are real, not before. They also keep their acts of kindness private. In a world where many people showcase generosity for recognition, they do the opposite. They help without broadcasting it. There's a quiet joy in knowing you made a difference without needing validation. It's a kind of fulfillment that doesn't depend on applause. One of the most powerful things they keep private is their past mistakes. Not because they're ashamed, but because they've already done the work. They don't need to relive old regrets or explain themselves endlessly. Instead, they carry the lesson, not the label. This allows them to grow without being defined by who they used to be. And that's something many people struggle with, letting the past stay in the past. They're also careful about sharing their opinions on everything. This might seem small, but it's actually a major shift in mindset. Smart seniors choose their words wisely. They understand that not every opinion needs to be expressed. Silence, for them, is not weakness, it's control. Another thing they protect is their happiness. When you openly share every good thing in your life, you sometimes invite comparison, jealousy, or even negative energy. Smart seniors enjoy their moments quietly. They celebrate without overexposing. They've learned that happiness grows when it's nurtured. They also keep their relationships more private. Not secret, but protected. The more outside voices you allow in, the harder it becomes to maintain clarity and trust. Their fears are another thing they don't constantly reveal. This doesn't mean they don't have them, everyone does. But instead of amplifying fear through constant discussion, they face it internally. They manage it quietly. They act despite it. They also keep their self-improvement journey private. While many people announce every new goal, smart seniors simply begin. They focus on consistency instead of attention. They understand that real transformation happens when no one is watching. And finally, they keep their boundaries private but firm. They don't always explain why they say no. When you constantly explain yourself, you give others the power to negotiate your limits. If you step back and look at all of this, a pattern starts to appear. It's not about secrecy for the sake of hiding. It's about intentional living. It's about understanding that not everything gains value by being shared. There's a kind of confidence in this approach. A calm, steady confidence that doesn't need validation. Think about your own life for a moment. How much do you share that doesn't actually need to be shared? How often do you explain things to people who aren't truly invested in your well-being? At the end of the day, privacy isn't about isolation. It's about protection. Protection of your peace, your focus, your growth. The people who understand this best, they learned it through experience, through trial and error. So they adjusted, quietly. And that quiet adjustment changed everything. If this perspective made you think differently, there's a lot more insight like this waiting for you right here on the channel.